First half of the season, we wouldn't have finished that game out. Did a heck of a job fighting back all game. It was a tough game. They played tough. We played tough. We made mistakes in the first half of the season, and this game, we pulled it out. They learned some mental toughness.
Tough position to win the conference or the division title. How does that make you feel?
Well, every week we said it's a playoff game. We got to take care of us, and it's not going to be easy. As it was today, it's going to be a dogfight every week. We just got to come ready to play and make less mistakes, and our heart's into it. We got to clean up some things. We know that, but it's hard to win in this league. We'll take a win any way we can get it.
Irving's been your hot back for 2 weeks. How worried about his hip injury, and how much production did he give you?
No, he had a heck of a game. I think he had over 100 yards. I know he had over 100. Rashad played well as well. He's got a hip pointer right now. Rashad finished the game up and got the big run at the end, so we'll see how he heals this week.
What particular moments showed you that toughness that you thought they didn't really have earlier in the season?
Well, the last run Rashad got to finish it, the 2-minute to tie the ball game in overtime, going to make it go into overtime, just putting the ball down the field where it needed to be, the receiver getting down on the slant with 6 seconds left, making it 3 seconds on the clock, just the awareness that we didn't have in the first half of the year as the young guys were growing. They seemed like they grew up today.
That fumble recovery was pretty big, too.
It was huge. You know, Nelly had a big week. He had a big week.
The offensive line really opened up some holes that Bucky, 40-something yards, he wasn't touched at first until he was 12, 13 yards down the field. Can you talk a little bit about the holes they were able to open up, protection they were able to provide, and just their overall play?
They played tough. We talked about it at halftime. You know, we were shooting ourselves in the foot. We were getting false starts. We were getting penalties. We were backing ourselves up. Second half, they came out with a mental toughness, and they played together, and we played as a team, and we pulled it out.
How much did your tight ends help in that second half there, where it seemed like those rushing yards, those rushing lanes really seemed to open up a lot more for Bucky?
It was huge for the tight ends and the receivers. I mean, they're an extension of the offensive line. Those guys practice it just as much, and they're just as much a part of it.
How concerned were you with Mayfield's injury? He was only out 2 plays, but the replay, you know, he stomped his foot pretty good.
He's tough. We'll see how he feels this week. I'm pretty sure he's going to be sore, but he's a tough guy. If he can come back and play, he's going to come back and play. But it was good for Kyle to get in there a step or two, and his time is coming. But Bake played a heck of a game. He played a gritty game when he came back in.
Any idea of the significance of Mike Edwards, his hamstring injury?
Not at this time.
Defense had some pretty big stops down in their own zone, especially the goal line stand. Can you just talk a little bit about how they were able to kind of stiffen up and turn what could have been touchdowns into field goal opportunities?
Well, it was huge to hold him to 3 after that pick that got him inside the red zone, and it was huge when we shanked the punt to hold him to 3 as well. So they came up with some big stops and had some big plays the whole game.
Mike Evans, 8 catches, I think 118 yards, the touchdown, which was absolutely an incredible play. Can you just talk a little bit about his return and what it means to the offense?
He's tough. I mean, he's tough. He's working his way back in. He's feeling good. We got him the ball. He's our bell cow. He's going to help us win.
Third down on offense and also red zone today on offense. Those were challenges. What were some of the things that this Carolina defense was doing that made those 2 categories a little more of a challenge?
That was tough. They were filling the lanes on the inside. They were putting a lot of pressure on us up front and switching fronts and switching coverages on us. They made it tough.
What can you say, too, about your team's resilience to give up that Adam Thielen touchdown and then be able to immediately respond the way they did to keep themselves in the ball game?
We always talk about situational football. We practice it. We preach it. We go through it several times a week as far as 2 minutes concerned. The clock changes all the time, so the patience they had and the effort they had getting down there and the toughness they had with the mental awareness of understanding where the clock was huge.
And I know that you've always been really complimentary of Bryce Young. I know you were last year when things weren't really going his way, and obviously, you know, you're coaching the Buccaneers today, but how difficult did he make your job today?
In the first half, he did it with his feet. In the second half, he did it with his arms. So he's a tough quarterback. They played tough. They played Kansas City tough last week. We knew it was going to be a tough game going in. Just glad we pulled it out.
You have one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Graham Barton's obviously been great all year. Bucky. Jalen McMillan made a big catch late in this game. Can you just talk about some of your rookies and specifically what McMillan's catch means for his future?
He's coming around mentally. He's getting comfortable in the offense. He's playing at a high speed. The catches aren't there all the way yet, but we know we can count on him when the big catches come. It's not too big for him, and he's going to help us down the stretch.
Okay, thank you.